I want to talk about grief. It's a powerful thing. And one of the things we do, a lot of us do, is we try to escape it. We try to avoid it. We try and pretend that we're over it, we're past it, it's behind us, we don't want to deal with it anymore. Grief doesn't work like that. Grief is something that it's a process. We have to go through the process. We have to understand that the loss is loss. And there's a hole that we're looking at, a place that's empty. And we feel that place. And we try to avoid looking into the hole because we don't want to deal with it. It makes us sad, alone, separate, solitary. We grieve the hole. And the hole doesn't have to be the loss of a loved one. The whole can be the loss of something special to us. We grieve the loss of our job when we retire. Here, we were this for 30 years, 40 years. We did this. This is who we were. Now, who are we? That part of me is gone. We grieve. Or it may be a relationship that's ended. We were together for 20 years, for 10 years, for 5 years, for time, and we were connected and we loved each other, and now we're not together. It's sad. I feel alone, solitary, angry. I grieve. Loss is loss. And in some ways, when we lose someone we love to death, where they make a transition into a higher life and are free of pain and suffering, it's easier. It's easier than saying goodbye to something maybe that we still can see. We say goodbye to it even though it's still present. We grieve the loss of it even though it's still there. That's hard. It's hard to grieve the loss of a loved one too, and that's a different kind of hard, but grief has different faces. And we experience them all. We can't escape grief. We can't escape loss. We can't escape having to be sad, having to be solitary, having to be alone, having to be helpless, having to be frustrated, having to be all those things, being angry because they're gone, being angry because we're still here. Grief, hard thing. But we face it. We move through it. We grow through it. And one of the things for me that's made it easier is the certain knowledge that we are eternal and that we are not limited, that we are never solitary, we are never alone, we are never separated, even though we grieve and we feel loss, and sometimes we have regrets, and sometimes we feel helpless. But it's important to understand that no matter what the loss, it's part of life. And that in life we are challenged. And challenge moves us. Challenge shapes us. Challenge changes us. Allow your grief to change you, to move you. Allow it to help you evolve. And know that your loved ones, if they have died, are in a higher life, and you are still connected to them. And if the thing you've lost is not a life, then we've learned through this, we've grown through this, we've become more aware of the limitations of a physical life, and we are enriched, affected. Grief. Something we avoid. Never. We can never avoid it, not forever. And the price of love is loss, grief, because at some point things change, whether it be through death or conflict or doesn't matter. It's the price we pay for love, through love. And love is so special, is so powerful, that we happily accept this price. And even though we grieve and we feel the loss, it's important to understand that nothing is lost. The illusion is lost. You are still whole. They are still whole. Love is still present. The illusion is separation. It feels real. It's tough. Real tough. But we grow. And in time, grief falls away and is replaced with hopefully fond memories, hopefully joyful thoughts, hopefully new life, as the whole becomes smaller. And we become more aware, if they're on the spirit side, of our connection to them, and of the joy they brought into our lives. And if the loss is of another kind, we become aware that there are other things that will replace this loss, will fill this void. It's the nature of life, is change. We hate change. We love change. We need change. We fear change, but it's the nature of life, is change. The price we pay is change. Enjoy your life. Enjoy challenge. It shapes you. Grief is challenge. And we will rise above it and be free of it in time.